some breaking news right now, talking about an active aggressor that has been reported at the Covenant School.
Words never before spoken in Nashville left a lasting impact on our community.
This year in Tennessee, I want to see the day when students don't have to fear going to school.
1 year later, WSMV4 is remembering the victims of the Covenant shooting, the 3 children and the 3 adults who did not survive, and those who did.
They are not okay. We are not okay.
And taking a closer look at what's changed to keep children safe in the classroom.
Security and safety is the utmost of importance to a principal.
WSMV4 News at 6 starts now with this breaking news alert.
We begin the show with breaking news tonight. WSMV4 Investigates has obtained an internal review of how police responded to the shooting at the Covenant.
And we've learned never before details of the risks police took in stopping the shooter. We're going to get to all of that in a moment, but first, we focus on the victims and their families tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tracy Cornett.
And I'm Marius Payton. On March 27th of 2023, 6 people lost their lives at the school in the Green Hills area when a shooter opened fire. 3 of them were children. We will never forget their names: 9-year-olds Evelyn Dickhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney.
Also killed in the shooting, Cynthia Peak, who was a substitute teacher, Dr. Catherine Kuntz, the head of the school, and Mike Hill, who was a custodian. We are bringing you team coverage tonight on what happened on that tragic day 1 year ago.
Our Lauren Lowry is live outside of the Covenant School. And Lauren, Covenant families have been pushing for change since last year's shooting.
March 27th was nothing short of a life-changing event, and some Covenant parents are very clear when they say, we are not okay. We've seen several families begin to become politically active, and 2 Covenant mothers shared with our Amanda Hara new ways that their children are struggling, both physically and emotionally.
Some photographs are worth 1,000 words, but this one will leave you speechless.
You were one of the only parents who was able to reunify with your child before the actual reunification at the nearby church.
As I was peering through the glass of the fire station, he caught eyes with me and he ran up to the window. And he screamed. He said, "Mom, come inside." He said, "Please, Mom." I said, "Put your hand right here." And so we held hands through that glass, and that's how we were reunited with one another.
Melissa Alexander's son survived the Covenant School shooting. So did Mary Joyce's daughter, Monroe.
She saw her face. She said she had an angry face, and she was screaming at them, and she stuck that gun in the window of their classroom and just started shooting. She's lost over 50% of her hearing on her left side. Her right side has declined as well, and it's because she was closest to the door. They are not okay. We are not okay.
1 year later, both families are learning what it really means to survive.
You're alive and you lived through that, but you're dealing with the heartache for the rest of your life, and the trauma and the pain and the scars and the nightmares. She doesn't sleep in her own bed still. For a while, she was running intruder drills in our house, sitting at the top of the stairs, staring out the window, and practicing where she would hide and how fast she would run in our house.
Mary and Melissa have added dogs to their homes. It brings comfort to their children. But for them, comfort is best found through action.
You're a longtime gun owner, conservative values, and now advocating for gun reform.
I think the two can coexist.
I don't want any one of you to feel what this feels like.
Both mothers spent the special session pushing for bills that would have required safe storage of guns, kept guns away from people with mental illness, and enhanced background checks. Not one of those bills were passed.
Some people might say this is an uphill battle. We live in a Republican-controlled state with a Republican-controlled legislature. How do you respond to that?
I think we're raising up a new kind of era of Tennesseans that are paying attention. I think we are giving space for conservative voices to speak up.
In a few short weeks, their children will return to the Covenant School classrooms for the first time.
Are there any parents who have made the decision, you know, we're not going to return this year?
There have been parents that have made that decision, but they're letting their children lead and doing what's best for their family.
Mary and Melissa say what's best for their families is to keep climbing the steps to the Capitol.
We can't go home to our children that survived a mass shooting, that lost their friends, and throw up our hands. I will not be able to live with myself if I don't use my voice, and we together are going to keep going. We aren't going anywhere.
Both women say their advocacy efforts for Covenant Families for Brighter Tomorrows will continue, and all of their work continues as well. In fact, they're waiting for the governor to sign a bill that would actually require a report about guns and child deaths to be more widely shared. So we'll continue to cover their efforts. Now, in the last hour, marking the day today, thousands of people linked arms for change in honor of the shooting at the Covenant School. Our Lydia Fielder has been covering it live all afternoon. Lydia, tell us about what you saw.
Lauren, thousands of people turned out for this event, gathered across political and ideological lines, linking their arms together to stand for safer gun laws in Tennessee, and most importantly, to honor the Covenant community. We saw families, family friends, different school groups, teams, pastors and politicians, lots of perfect strangers linking arms. The message from most of the speakers was one of hope and healing, a lot of very poignant words remembering those 6 victims. We talked to a family who brought their kids out, who go to Harding Academy. I asked them why they wanted to be here today.
This is a heavy day for us, and I wanted them to have something positive to participate in today, and this seemed like the perfect event. So to come here and we can remember what happened, but then we can focus on change and trying to make our schools and our state safer.
Just as you heard from that mother there, the emotion out here today was really tangible as people got to reflect on the precious life around them and remember what happened on March 27th, 2023. In Nashville, I'm Lydia Fielder, WSMV 4. Lauren.
Lydia, thank you. And of course, it wasn't just gun legislation that was top of mind. School safety has been a major conversation. There's not a single mid-state school board that didn't have this conversation about how to make their schools safer and how to protect kids. And in many districts, the answers became locked doors, new safety plans, potentially bullet-resistant glass. But for MNPS, they brought along safety ambassadors. And I went along with one to see what goes into that job.
For DeMarco Butler, a locked door is a good thing.
So I check this door. It's open. So I have to lock this.
He's one of the more than 65 safety ambassadors recently added at Metro Nashville elementary schools. His one priority?
Yeah, I'm here to keep the kids safe.
We walked with him through the halls of Goodlettsville Elementary, checking in on classrooms.
I try to start with pre-K and lock the doors.
Keeping a watchful eye outside of the school for anything unusual.
I'm gonna check the parking lots.
And of course, checking those locks.
I know that he's been by because I hear him rattle my doorknob.
Principal Tracy Gibson says safety ambassadors like Butler provide peace of mind.
It helps me go about the job of academics and the job of being an instructional leader in this building, because I know that there's someone else here who has the safety come first.
While safety ambassadors were added after the tragedy last year at Covenant, the district says enhancing school safety is an ongoing process. Metro Nashville says all schools in the district now have technology detecting brandished weapons, security vestibules preventing people from walking through the front doors into the school, and provided active shooter training to more than 8,200 district personnel. Ongoing projects include installing shatter-resistant film, audio enhancement systems so teachers can more easily alert administrators to issues, and expanding the school resource officer program. Right now, MNPD has assigned SROs to all middle and high schools. Filling in that gap for elementary schools is where Butler and his fellow safety ambassadors come in.
How everybody doing today?
As a father of 3, Butler says this job is a way of paying it forward.
I want others to keep my kids safe, so I want to keep others' kids safe.
After all, it's all about the kids, right? That is why school safety has become top of mind in light of what happened 1 year ago today. Now, we do have that breaking news that we mentioned at the very top of the hour. WSMV4 Investigates has obtained a never-before-seen report on how officers were able to stop the shooter that day. Jeremy's going to have more on that coming up in about 6 minutes. Marius and Tracy.
Lauren Lowry, thank you so much. And coming up, several Vanderbilt students face charges after yesterday's protest. Video shows them forcing their way into a building on campus.
We are looking at falling temperatures tonight, leading to some frost, but we're also looking ahead to first alert you of some possibly strong to severe storms. I've got the details just ahead.
2 people are now in custody after a deadly shooting last September in North Nashville. Nathaniel Harris and Thomas Wade are charged for the murder of Kyle Martin Jr. He was shot while driving on Moonlight Drive. Martin later died at the hospital. Harris was arrested while appearing in court for an unrelated attempted homicide case. Wade was arrested at his home in Rutherford County.
Developing in Perry County tonight, the bodies of a father and a young child were pulled from the Tennessee River today. The child's body was found before 7 this morning at a gravel site there. The father's body was found hours later. Officials said the two went fishing last night and fell into the water. They were not wearing life jackets. The sheriff says there are no trespassing signs, but it's still a popular area to fish.
New video shows when a group of Vanderbilt students forced their way into Kirkland Hall. They staged a sit-in protest yesterday. You can see students pushing a community service officer. 3 students are charged with misdemeanor assault. A 4th is charged with vandalism for breaking a window. Every student who participated in the protest has been suspended.
All right, I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley. Today, I obtained a never-before-seen evaluation of how officers responded in stopping the Covenant School shooter and what terrifying moment they faced after the shooter was shot. Our investigation is coming up next.
Tonight, WSMV Investigates has obtained a never-before-seen evaluation of how Metro Police responded when trying to stop the Covenant School shooter.
It comes as the department is facing criticism that it hasn't been fully transparent about how it reacted. Our Chief Investigative Reporter, Jeremy Finley, joining us here tonight, pressed police for answers here, Jeremy. What did they say?
That's right. As we all know, it's been a year now since there has been the shooting. There has been no after-action report released by police. None of the investigative files have been returned, and the shooter's writings haven't been released due to ongoing litigation. But just today, I obtained the department's internal investigation into how they stopped the school shooter. It, along with other details that we've confirmed, shows just how quickly police responded and how the shooter threatened police even after she'd been shot.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
I think we have a shooter. The first call to 911 the morning of the Covenant shooting, 10:13 a.m. At 10:21 a.m., 8 minutes later, body camera footage released by Metro Police shows Officer Rex Engelbert arriving. And a minute after that, let's go! He obtains keys to open this door to the school. 9 minutes between when the first 911 call came in and when this body camera video shows police entering the school.
We need to know as many details as possible.
That time frame is a source of questions for David Reedman, the creator of the K-12 school shooting database that analyzes every school shooting in the nation. There is no question that these officers are heroes. But what you're questioning is the timeline.
The question that's about broader accountability and broader procedures are if the closest officers and the first officers that were there went in immediately or waited. And that's an important theme.
Reedman wrote in this Substack that it took the much criticized Uvalde police force less than 4 minutes to get into the school after that shooter first entered. He's questioning what happened in the 9 minutes this body camera footage shows it took for a Metro Police officer to enter. So we asked Metro Police to confirm exactly what did happen. And here's what we verified. While Engelbert and his fellow officers risked their lives to rush into the building, it was actually Detective Mike Colazzo who arrived first and entered at a different location. Within 7 minutes of that first 911 call, 2 minutes quicker than previously known, Colazzo entered through the broken glass that the shooter had blown apart, armed only with a pistol. While Engelbert is using the keys to enter at this door, Collazo is already inside, clearing rooms, looking for the shooter, but ultimately runs into a locked door.
No locked door. At the time, I was upset that we had just hit a locked door, but now, looking back, I'm thankful we hit a locked door, because that was the school doing what they've been trained to do.
While Engelbert and officers rush through their side of the building, Collazo and other officers then follow from behind.
At some point around that time frame is when we started hearing the first shots.
According to this final case summary obtained by WSMV4 Investigates, after Engelbert opened fire on the shooter, she was still moving and attempted to raise her rifle at Collazo and Sergeant Jeff Mathis. That's when Collazo fired 4 shots at her. At 10:24, 21 minutes after that 911 call first came in, the shooter was dead.
Jeremy Finley here with us right now. It's important to say that you really can't compare Uvalde's police response to Metro Police's in this case.
Absolutely. You know, we now know that Uvalde waited substantial amount of time for them to actually confront the shooter, and the Metro officers did not hesitate. They went immediately in. I should also point out in a filing this month, the lead detective in the case said they needed about 4 more months to complete their investigation, so we should know then what their full investigation shows.
All right, Jeremy Finley, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are tracking some really cold temperatures tonight, leading to the possibility of some frost and freeze conditions. Plus, storms are just around the corner. So here is your top 4 on 4. A cold night ahead for us. Temperatures dropping into the 30s, lending itself to frost developing. It's going to be patchy. Not everyone will see it, but just be aware of that if you've already planted some things. Warmer air is coming for us for Easter, for the entire weekend. It's going to be really nice. And then with that warmer air in place, we are looking at the perfect recipe for rain and thunderstorms by the time we get to Tuesday. But tonight, it's not warm. It's cold air we're talking about here with a frost advisory all across Middle Tennessee in this blue shaded area, and in the purple, that is our freeze warning for West Tennessee, but it does include our viewers there in Paris. We're looking to see you right around 34 degrees in the morning, 36 in Nashville, and 37 for you in McMinnville. Looking out tonight, we've had a sunny day today with just a few high clouds coming in, this view from Bellevue, and then of course we've got those frosty mornings that we are talking about with these temperatures continuing to drop from the 50s where we are right now at 56 degrees to 56, the latest in Hendersonville, 59 in Centerville, and 54 coming in from Tullahoma. Notice tonight these temperatures with a basically clearer sky will be allowed to drop all the way to the 30s by morning. Just a few high, thin clouds will move in across the east. Afternoon highs tomorrow with lots of sunshine, 64, but we'll still have that northerly wind, so it'll be a crisp air mass in place. And another potential for a little bit of frost, even less than what we'll see in the morning, with 39 degrees for a morning low on Friday in Nashville. Warming into the afternoon to 72 in Music City, 68 there in Shelbyville. And we, of course, are going to be keeping you advised on this first alert weather day. That is coming up for us on Tuesday afternoon and evening. Some heavy downpours expected. Also, high winds could be 40 to 50 miles an hour. We'll keep fine-tuning that forecast as we get closer to time. But I wanted to give you an early first alert at that, as we are looking for showers and storms in the afternoon and continuing through the evening. Our pollen count looks this way, rather high as we go through the next several days. So if you're suffering from those tree pollens, then you'll want to make sure you've got your medication nearby. It's going to be a tough few days ahead. We are looking at a few high clouds tonight with our temperatures remaining in the 40s until we get towards morning, and then they step down into the 30s, prompting that frost advisory. And 30s again on Friday morning, 72 in the afternoon, then a big warm up on Saturday and Sunday into the 50s. Anything you've got planned for outside on Saturday looks great with 78 for a high. And here we are, Easter Sunday. Just a few isolated showers, mainly to the north and into Kentucky. We'll see breezy conditions on Monday, and there's our first alert weather day for Tuesday of next week with showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Stick around. We'll be right back.